Here we go. I'm going to get super excited because David Huntsberger is not going to, so I'm going to. This is it, episode 105, NoLaughTrack podcast. My name is Justin Severson, the host. Thanks to Circle of Heat, as always, for letting us play their music at the beginning. And we've got a return guest and a first-timer whose name has been brought up quite a bit recently on this podcast. Tommy Ryman and David Huntsberger. Woo-hoo! Fellas, hello. Welcome.
Hello.
It's good to be here.
Yay, hey, it's good to be here. Good to be here.
Hey, I'm Tommy. It's good to be here. I'm on TV.
Wait a minute, that sounds like the voice Doug Benson does when he's mocking you.
Yeah, that's true.
No, his is more like Droopy Dog, like this. Mine's more, hey, I'm Tommy. Mine's more excited and positive.
Is that really what I sound like?
Is that really what I sound like?
So it's Wednesday. You guys worked last night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we worked last night. It's a pretty good show.
Nice I don't know. Who am I talking to right now? I'm sorry.
That's Tommy.
It's Tommy doing the voice he was born with before he morphed into,
hey, guys. Sure love the Smurfs.
Just wait till he takes those glasses off. Fellas, what up, baby?
Hey, y'all. I've been meaning to say... You're just nodding? It's a podcast.
I know.
You gotta speak.
Well, I figured you would say he's nodding, and you did, so it worked out perfectly.
You knew what I was going to say.
I thought it was going to happen.
No, you didn't nod knowing, like, oh, this'll work
This'll
out.
make David mad.
These setups are amazing. I'm going to nod, and you're going to say, he just nodded.
He just nodded. Well, right on cue, Tommy nodded. Kid's a natural.
How was last night? Was it like this?
I thought it was good. Yeah, I liked it. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
The contest was going on,
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
It was full of contestants. All 5 showed up.
And you're featuring this week,
yep,
Tommy?
I'm featuring.
Yeesh. And did you do the contest here?
I did it a long time ago, 2006. I think I did it. I didn't even make it to the semifinals or anything.
Did you win your?
I did win my night, so I got a extra large Rolling Rock T-shirt.
You just answered the question I was going to ask. What was your lame prize at the
That was not a lame prize.
For people who have not seen Tommy, that shirt must fit you like a glove.
It is very tight. But, they didn't have extra large, so.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Can't trade that thing in.
No.
When if it's one of a kind. Yeah, for people who don't know, the winner of each the nightly winner of the Funniest Person, the Twin Cities contest, gets sort of say it's a consolation prize, but they're the winner. But it's not the quality of prize, it's the fact they're leaving home with something.
Yeah, you get a beer koozie or a keychain or something, I'm sure I've seen. So, a lot of happy people.
And you got a T-shirt.
I got a T-shirt.
Do you have it framed in your house?
No,
Where is it now?
I don't know. Probably in a box with, comedy stuff. I have, I don't know. I mean, I should have. Yeah, it's framed. It's framed. I love it. From when I didn't advance. But I want to remember that contest that I was in.
Wait, you didn't advance?
No, I didn't get to the semifinals. That's why a lot of people are, when they're worried about it, I'm like, look how good your career could be even if you don't do that well.
Yeah.
In the comedy contest. So then they're like, oh.
I think I'm a step behind. You won your night. You won your round.
Yeah, but it's a point-based
T-shirt.
system, so because only 25 move on from the hundreds and hundreds of people that.
And you were one of those people that won your night and then didn't get the call that you're moving to the next round.
Nope. So yeah, it hurt.
So theoretically, you cannot win your night and still move on.
Yeah.
How's that for a mind
I see.
fuck?
The top 2 would move on in that situation, or even 3.
It's just all based on
5
the whole
move on
summer.
if they all just.
I thought
crushed
last
it.
night everyone did really well. I would not be surprised if 3 or so went on.
Let's shame the bad one.
I don't remember anyone being bad. I was just thinking no one really had
they're
awkward long pauses. Or there was a girl I talked to afterward that she didn't feel like she had done all that well, and I didn't see much of her set. It was right before Tommy, so I wanted to go get a drink and be ready to watch this guy because he's great. But she was like, "Oh, I've only done it 3 times, but next time I want to make it all the way through." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh, I bailed out early. She got kind of nervous and took." So I don't think she thinks she's moving on. It sounds like she's probably not moving on. So 3 or 4 of the other ones, though, I thought were really doing well. Really well-written jokes, and there, sometimes in a contest like that, you'll see a few people be comedians, where all the comics go, oh, those are well-written jokes. They're maybe not as comfortable as they could be telling them.
Yeah.
And then someone will blow it out of the water, but that person's doing like the hackiest sort of, there's nothing really fresh about it. And all the comics are like, the crowd's liking this because the crowd's filled with all that person's friends.
Would either of you ever go up to someone starting out and give them advice without them asking?
Never. No.
Never, yeah.
Never.
Even if people ask me, I don't feel like I have any good advice.
I always just tell them to have fun, and then I walk away. Just have fun. If it's not fun, do something else.
Do something else.
Do you
Have fun out there, guys.
do you remember who won the year you did it?
A kid named Brooks Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he passed away a couple years ago. But
I've seen Brooks's penis.
I never got it. I lived with the guy for 2 years and never saw it.
You weren't here? Maybe we shouldn't mention that where that happened, but he was doing a show.
Here you meant in Minneapolis.
Yeah, in Minneapolis,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
And he took a bunch of mushrooms live on stage and then did a striptease to like a music cue, and at the end, like full Monty style. And people were losing their minds. Like, it was such a strange thing to see, and it's that weird anticipation of like, he's not, please don't do it. There's going to be a gag. Like, he's going to have some sort of a merkin or something. But, but no.
It's going to be a little sign that says, boo.
Yeah. But no, it was a full tilt thing. Anyway, he's funny. I wish he'd get back into it. He's one of those guys, every scene has that, wouldn't you say? We're like, oh, yeah, that's our drifter. That's our guy that wanders in and has really funny stuff and then doesn't really put their mind to it, or doesn't revere stand-up, doesn't really think stand-up's like all that worthwhile, which is really hard to argue with. But you know,
well, he just told me it wasn't fun anymore, and he was like, "That advice you gave me a long time ago," so I quit.
Yeah.
He was the first person that I knew that like started out with, because I've been doing comedy for almost 10 years now, that like actually quit. And then I literally thought, I was like, you can quit? Like, I didn't know that was an option.
Oh, the first person I knew that quit did it in open mics in year one. And so I think I was lucky in that, when I knew it could happen, but it seemed so early that like, oh yeah, like this is the time to get out. Once you kind of pass a point.
That's what I thought. I mean, I knew people stopped after open mic, but he was the first. I was like, you're pretty far in, like, deep into this game. No, but
yeah, no, I saw Dave Mordahl today and was talking to him about that. Like, hey man, you got out. You actually quit. And he was like, yeah. I was like, it's rare. You just don't meet anyone that actually like gets out of it.
Yeah, and I can say this. He's been on the podcast a few times recently, and he's the only one that likes that idea that he's quit.
Oh, I know. That's what I told him. I was like, I'm bummed that, you know, I like your material, and I think other comics talk about him so much in that way. Like, oh, it's a shame. He was really good. And he's got to secretly like that. I mean, who wouldn't want to be this kind of Bigfoot creature?
Well, he'd never admit it.
Yeah. But that would feel good. I mean, it would be so much worse to quit, and then people would be like, who quit? Oh, all right. So at least if nothing else, he achieves like a level where people are like, oh, that's a shame.
Well, it was funny because I was there when you two were having a little conversation after the morning show this morning, and you were like, well, you know, I host this show in California, you know, once a month, and like I immediately went to his face like, how's he gonna like politely say not a chance in hell?
Yeah,
because I'm not getting on a plane, I'm not doing comedy anymore.
Yeah,
there's no freaking way. Thank you, but there's no way.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that was something I angled toward doing when our conversation started, but he said something that made me feel like he missed performing in front of good crowds.
Oh.
And so I was saying it more to the extent of that, of like, oh, well, you know, if I can help in some way. I think he had that's what I was getting, that he had enough of drunk idiots or bachelorette parties.
Yeah,
sort of
there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
So either way, like, you know, people, the dude that I knew that quit at open mic was really funny. He was probably the best open micer. One of his jokes was like, and this, you know, for open mic, it's for whatever reason still sticks with me. Like, oh, my girlfriend always wants to lay out, but I'm always like, I'll just lay in. Is that all right? Love to lay in. And then he'd do like a whole rambly thing about how good he was at laying in and how good it was for him, and the same way people like defend laying out and you get the sun, blah blah. He had all these reasons why laying in was really great. For an open micer, it was great, you know, and he just had a natural style. And then I remember us talking one time after, and he was just like, yeah, I don't think it's for me. It was incomprehensible that you could be good at something that so many people were trying desperately to get good at, and you could just say, "Nah, no thanks." And that's what he did. He was just like, "Yeah, it doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't give me like a rush when I do it." And I just couldn't get that. Like, you're good though.
I'm still trying to find the thing I'm so good at that I need to walk away from.
Yeah,
because I haven't found that yet.
Yeah, I know people feel that with. We talk about all the time, just like with comic book characters and stuff. Like, oh, they're sort of it's a burden. Their gift is their curse, sort of a thing. And maybe that's how someone that walks
What does he do
feels.
now, though?
I don't know. I think he just had a regular job. He's like a finance guy or something boring like that, but just was content to just make a decent amount of money.
But the funniest finance guy.
Yeah,
It's probably so funny.
In the building.
I don't think the funniest person on earth is probably a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that.
Maybe it's the hardest medium to be funny in. It's a good equalizer. The greatest improv person or actor or television host or frontman for a band or woman could get on stage to do stand-up, and the crowd is on their side. Like, oh, I've been to their concert. I've seen their show. I've went on and on and on. They're going to be funny. And then they start doing it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, no, they're not.
Yeah.
It's really a weird like leveler. And so I think that's why comedians a lot of times think they're so much funnier than everybody else. Like, oh, we can do this thing that you can't do. But I don't know. There's probably like a finance person or something that's like the funniest person on the planet because they're still always drawing from like a different place. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point.
No, I can see that. I can see that. But then the other side of that is the stereotype of like, oh yeah, but I'm sure you knock them dead in the freaking accounting.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. That's definitely
is that like
true.
the best like football players? Probably not even a real actual football player either. Does it work for that too? Like, there's just some amazing athlete
probably.
that's just like, I'm just.
I mean, you could say that for basketball for sure. Like Earl Manigault was like probably, and I just watched a thing called Doing It on the Park or something like that. That's about the New York outdoor pickup basketball culture. There's absolutely players that would have been hands down better than the Michael Jordan era, greats.
I believe that.
And we just don't know them. So yeah, that could totally exist with comedy. I mean, were you the funniest person in your high school? Not just your class, but like your entire high school?
No, I don't think so.
I doubt any comedian really was. Maybe someone like Tracy Morgan or something who's like outlandish and like. But there was a dude that reminded me of Tracy Morgan at my high school. I don't even think he went there. He would show up every now and again and just break everyone in half. He was so funny. I have no idea what happened to that dude or where he went, but he was so funny. So yeah, I think there is a work ethic element that factors in, and like football is different. You have to put in the time in the weight room. You're not just going to be great without playing. Stand-up's the same way. Like that dude that showed up at my school that was really funny, probably getting on stage would be at level 0, wouldn't be a great stand-up. So I do think that by putting in the time, just doing the time in front of a microphone or whatever, you get a skill that you can't develop just hanging out with your friends. But
my skill has improved slightly over the first time you were here. I'm confident in saying that.
Awesome.
From no talent to
you're getting a gleam.
That's right. I have a question for Tommy. How did you celebrate David Huntsberger Day this week on the Mark Maron podcast?
David Huntsberger Day?
Yeah, that was this week. Mm-hmm. Was it Monday or Tuesday? Monday was David Huntsberger Day.
And so people are supposed to celebrate? That's kind of the ritual?
I don't know. Those are the tweets that Maron said, it's blank day.
Yeah.
And I always read that like, oh, another holiday.
Yeah, twice a week holiday.
How do I celebrate David Huntsberger Day? I don't know what to do.
I didn't realize that podcast was that big of a deal. I mean, I knew it was cool to do it. I knew I was doing a podcast that's definitely like well respected and has had some unique moments in podcast history, but I just thought I was doing a podcast. People afterwards were responding as if I'd like finished a marathon or something. Like, congratulations, man, you did it.
Yeah?
And I was just like, well, I don't know what I did. They sent me some available dates to do it, and I said yes, and then I did it. So I don't feel like it was a mountain I climbed or anything like that, but it was really fun.
Leading in?
I don't think so. No, I mean,
were you trying to get on it though? Like, so you weren't. Like,
it was through Dan. It was through Schlichel. Like his publicist person for Stand Up Records just put it all together.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I had, and then I saw Mark and chatted with him a little bit, and then I saw him again. I probably saw him a handful of times. leading up to it where just we'd chit chat, and then so when I was on the show, he just said, "I don't really know you."
Yeah, here's my thing. I started listening, and then I thought, you know what? I don't want all this in my head when I'm going to talk to you.
Oh, that's interesting.
This week, I'm going to wait. I do want to hear it because I'm a big fan of his. I'm a fan of yours. I want to hear it. But I listened because I heard the very beginning when he's like, "Yeah, I don't think we really know each other."
Yeah,
and then I turned it off. Like, no, I don't want to know anything else. I don't want to know what they're going to dig into.
That's cool. I like that.
Instead, I re-listened to the first time you were on this one.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Cool.
But that's something that I actually want to talk to you about. Something you mentioned last time about. You guys just said about people quitting comedy, and I asked you about what you want to do in the future, and you said something about like, well, I think eventually I want to, just once I've said everything. Like, well, how are you? Does this sound familiar? Are you still saying the same thing? Have your feelings changed?
Yeah, I think so. I would never want to like hire a team of writers. Do you feel that way?
No, I wouldn't want to hire a team of writers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like success sort of breeds in a weird way like a dulling agent or like kryptonite in a lot of ways. And not to speak negatively of anybody, but like what really successful comedians have put out specials that surpass the one before it.
Yeah.
Not many. And that could just be like a byproduct of our culture looking at it and being too critical. But I also think it could be like if it's a job, if it's, hey, you need to go on tour and you need to have these jokes and you need to film a special, you'll find a way to make things funny. And that skill that you develop in stand-up is like, I could get on stage for 5 minutes and talk about carpet and lighting and banal things and make them funny, but it wouldn't be coming from this place where I was like, something struck me as funny and I'm like, oh, I've got to go talk about that.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't want to kind of soil stand-up in that way, or at least for myself. I wouldn't want to just, well, I said I'd do 10 CDs, so I'm doing 10. I would never want to do that. So, I still feel that way.
And I remember, how's the animation going?
Pretty good. I've got a few shows like packaged up, and last year I had this web series kind of in development. We ended up just making an animatic. And
we talked about that.
Yeah, and it was really fun. The whole process was really fun. And then, like Hollywood happens, things move on and it just kind of gets shuffled aside. And I made the mistake with that of like telling people, hey, I've got this thing I'm doing. And now I realize you have to have something in hand. Be like, this is done. Here's where you can go watch it. Because otherwise it's just nearly... It's just maddening to go like, oh, we had everything in place, contracts signed, people lined up, animators working, and then it just didn't see the light of day.
Try telling your family you're edited out of Nick Mom Night Out.
What?
That's a painful.
My mom was mad at me because when I did Last Comic Standing, I didn't tell her. And the next day at work, she called me and was like, were you on TV last night? I said, yeah, but they had us sign a contract saying we couldn't tell people, and they said they would maybe edit us out, and I just couldn't bear it to say, like, watch TV tonight, and then you calling me after and be like, what was I looking for? Was one of your friends on? So that's always been my style previously, is like, I'm not going to promote it, but I made that mistake with the web series, and it was frustrating.
So there's nowhere people can see it?
No, I own a copy of it.
And that's it.
I don't like it that much, so I don't show it to people.
Really?
Because an animatic's boring. It's just black and white.
Oh, okay.
The voices, I think, are funny. The jokes don't hit in kind of a rhythm that I would like. And it doesn't look like how I drew the comic book. So when I watch it, I'm like, I can see where this is going.
I'm sorry. It's disappointing to hear this. Because I literally just listened to our conversation from a year ago.
Yeah.
3 hours ago.
I was all bright-eyed and excited.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I have other stuff that hopefully maybe this time next year I'll be saying, like, I actually have something going that I'm excited about. So
Here's
see.
what I couldn't tell you about last year.
Yeah.
So it's going on, but you can't.
No, nothing's
it's probably
like
something huge, and you're just not saying it right now.
Just put it on. You're sitting on something huge
No,
right now, right?
But what I am doing, like, that I think is vital, at least to like live in Los Angeles, is to just make stuff, just have ideas. At some point, someone may want your ideas. So, like, anyone I talk to that's had success, they just go, "Oh, you like float so many things out there that eventually you kind of lose track of what you put out there, and then all of a sudden." It's just like having 10 fishing lines in the water as opposed to one. And I know that through comedy, and that like it gets really frustrating emailing comedy clubs and not hearing back. And you just kind of lose faith, like, well, I'm not going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
So to like channel that to somewhere else, be like, well, I'm going to come up with a few different, whatever excites me, comics, comic books, things I'm writing, jokes, stand-up sketches, anywhere you're just kind of making stuff, it takes your mind. And then one of the comedy clubs calls back, or, however those things go. But just sitting there waiting, all right, I want to make this web series. It's just so frustrating. So I try to just do that. So I don't think I have anything in the works right now, but I have a lot of stuff that could potentially be in the works. So I'll keep you guys posted.
Cool.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
You brought it up. Last Comic Standing. Have you had a bigger year in your professional life, Tommy Ryman, than this year?
No, that was the most exciting thing for me, was being on Last Comic Standing this year, because after the Nick Mom debacle, I finally got on TV.
Let's start there. Let's go to the Nick Mom story. I want to hear that one.
Yeah, Nick Mom happened a few years ago. It was their first season. They came here, I showcased it for it. They flew me out to Orlando, taped it. Like, I had a transcript, it was all approved. Then literally 2 hours before it was going to tape, they go, your closing bit, we just realized, had a song in it. And they're like, it's not in the public domain. We thought it was, because it sounded old. And I was like, okay. Well, and then, so they're like, what else do you got? So they had me like change my closing bit, and then add something else. And they're like, and just do that anyways, because maybe they'll pony up the money and buy it, like, so they can use the bit. And then they just edited me out. They're like, that was way easier if we just scrap them. And then so yeah, I told my dentist, because nobody got the channel. Nobody got the channel because it was on like Nick Jr.'s at night. It wasn't even like Nickelodeon. It was really, you had to buy like really good cable to get it. And like the one lady that had it was my dentist, and I see my dentist twice a year. So the first time I saw her, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. The second time it was airing, and then even when I emailed them, I was like, am I edited out? They're like, oh, we switched some stuff around, so you might still be on. They didn't give me a clear cut, so then I was still telling people. So then I saw her again. She's like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. And then finally, the third time I went to the dentist, so this was over a span of over a year, I was like, I was edited out. I apologize. Please still clean my teeth.
That's going to end up being like that Bill Hicks on Letterman sort of lore. Someday someone's going to get to see Tommy's
Nick Mom
Nick
set.
Jr.'s Nick at Night.
Yeah, me performing in front of hundreds of moms, like I always wanted. I'm not a mom myself, but I tell jokes about my mom.
Did you get heckled, or Cy got heckled?
Cy got heckled because he then, like, that was weird too, because I went to Orlando and then everybody else from here got to go to Chicago, and it was like they had a big party and I was just stuck in Orlando. I was like, weird experience. But Last Comic was way better because they actually put me on the TV.
Yeah, exactly. What was the besides that the network is Nick at Night or Moms, or what was the mom?
It was called Nick Mom, but it was Nick Mom's Night Out, so it was just a whole bunch of moms were in the studio audience. Like, they all got, like, a glass of wine, and, I mean, none of them were, like, pregnant, I don't think. They probably got water. I didn't get too deep into that.
Then you could be on Nick Moms to Be.
Nick's Moms to Be, yeah. I don't know. I think I've walked away from my Nick Mom. They really just toyed with me too much.
I don't wish this story had gone any differently.
It would have been like,
I feel like it's kind of your niche to have really unfortunate sort of things happen to you, and then your retelling of them is really funny.
Yeah,
like you're upset now about your house troubles and all these sorts of things.
So you just like bad things to happen.
Yeah.
You're like, this is gonna be hilarious.
It's great.
Later.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way I told my dentist. That's funny. That would not be many people's first place they would go. Like, oh yeah, that was terrible. I told my dentist.
Well, it's just like, it's such an awkward thing that and now I've learned to be quiet. I was really quiet about the Last Comic Standing. Legally, you had to be, and just because I was paranoid, I didn't know. I was like, they can edit you out. And then I moved on to the semifinals, and they're like, well, now you got to be on. I was like, nope, I'm sure. I know how editing works. Like, it's magical. And they too, like, even the way they divide the episodes, they changed it up. Like, so there was places where I was, but like I wasn't there. So I was like, I don't know. It was weird.
Oh, like the
like in the green room or whatever,
yeah.
Like they showed somebody, but I had already been called onto stage. I was like, I was there, but like this. So it's really impressive what they can do. So, and then I was like, maybe they could edit me more into it. And make mom footage could show up in Last Comic. Like, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there I didn't watch it yet. I DVR'd it. There was an episode just this past Sunday.
Then they did, like a greatest hits. I wasn't on that one, but a couple like Emily Galati and Pat Sussmilch and Tracy Ashley, they re-showed some of their jokes or whatever again. So
That's where they should have put your Nick mom stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But I think they're going to do another one of those, so who knows? But yeah, my career's just gone insane. That phone won't stop ringing.
Were there people last night that had seen you on it, like audience members?
One lady came up to me, but she was also like friends with my second cousin. So I don't know if it counted, but she's like, recognized from TV, but
Nice.
that your cousin sent me the link to.
Yeah,
like,
on
so-
Facebook.
Yeah. So that not officially.
The whole experience overall, like with the judges and everything.
It was
Did you
super
like that?
fun. Yeah, they were really nice and positive, and it was just like I've auditioned for that show like 3 times.
Oh, really?
And had just not fun experiences with it, but just kept doing it because
Yeah.
it felt right to do.
Yeah.
And then so I was going in with not that positive of an attitude, and then it just kept getting better and better. And they treated the comics really nice. Flew us out. Like I got flown out 3 times, so
Oh, wow.
it's pretty sweet.
And it's Roseanne and who else?
Roseanne Keenan and Russell Peters were the were the judges.
Which judge liked you the most?
They were all pretty nice for the first round. Like Roseanne was the most like vocally appreciative.
Oh,
but,
yeah,
like,
she was
Yeah.
loving Tommy.
But- Really?
Your set that first night was awesome, man.
Yeah. I mean,
What'd she
thank
say?
you. She just like she stopped and she's like, "I'm a fan." Like she's like, and then just like described the set. Russell liked the bits. Like both Keenan and Russell like talked about like more of the structure and stuff. But yeah, and then the next round they said the same things, but they were just like it just didn't hit as hard in the semifinals. Like, the set that I picked, it didn't. I kind of knew it doesn't always, but you couldn't figure. You had to like figure out because the show they're like, well, it's a development deal, so and they kept saying they wanted to know more about you. So I was like, I'll tell more family stuff. Like it's really hard to figure out which set to do. So I was like, I don't know.
How was your experience on it then? Besides your not telling your mom.
Everything that came of it was really good. I got an agent out of the deal, and I'd been really into Omnipop, who used to book like Doug Benson and Patton Oswalt and Maria Bamford and Andy Kindler and just all these people that I really liked, 10 years ago or so. And I worked at the comedy club, and I would see Omnipop next to all their names, and then I did Premium Blend the year before, and then I did Last Comic Standing, and I was like, man, I'm like 25 or so. If I can't get a booking agent out of this, I don't know who can. I would have like 2 TV credits. And so I was about to call them. And then after I did Last Comic Standing, they sent me an email like, hey, is anyone, helping you? So that was great. And then Nick Swardson did the same thing, like sent me an email out of the blue from doing it. So all those things were awesome. Like I was suddenly like going on the road and doing comedy all over the place and opening these huge theaters. Like the first time I came here, I did the State Theater with Nick, and that was just because of Last Comic Standing. And yet
when you and I met.
That's
so
when
basically
we
you
met at
met
a party.
me
Yeah,
because of Last Comic Standing.
that is true.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Aw.
But the whole process leading up to it, I did not enjoy. I hated the show on principle. I thought making stand-up into a competition was absurd. I thought it makes people do all those really sell-outy, compromising things of, well, this isn't the set I want to do, but if it'll get me on TV, it's just all those things that I kind of hated, and yet, like, you have to do. Everyone at the comedy club was like, you got to just put a lot of paint on a canvas. And I was like, no, I want the canvas to look the way I want it to look. And Margie, who runs the club, was like, I'm telling you, just get yourself on TV. And she was right. Like, you're smart to, like Tommy was saying, all right, what are they asking me to do? And I should play along with that.
But I wasn't unhappy about like because they were my jokes. So
Oh, yeah,
still,
totally.
like,
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
like gonna write some like this will be the perfect.
No, I didn't mean to intimate that. I'm just saying that, like, going into it with a good attitude of, I'm going to be on TV. Yes, there are going to be some things that are a little bit unpleasant about the process, but I get to choose what I say. They choose the editing, but like if I do what I want, I don't have any qualms with that. I just really didn't like the comedians behind the cameras, were just so phony and insincere, and you'd be hanging out chatting like this, and then a boom mic would drop in, and all of a sudden one of them would go, have I ever told you guys about my uncle? Or something, like clearly going into a bit where you're just like, this person's
Does that still
gross.
go on, Tommy?
Well, they followed us in the green room, but that I felt like it was kind of boring because a lot of people were in their heads. Like they did a little of the setup between like people talking, and then but of like story stuff, but I don't know. They didn't like any of my stuff. I was pretty boring back there.
Me and my friend Doug Mellard I told this really boring story about potato salad at the airport, and he was like, dude, you should use that on the show. And we all laughed at that, like, oh yeah, what have I told? So every time the cameras would come around, he would just go, dude, what did you have for lunch today? And I just go into this potato salad story. So like at the end, we're all sitting there kind of in the green room where they're getting their final shots, and the camera guy's just like got his camera on his hip. He looks exhausted. I was like, you gotta be tired, man. He goes, oh, I cannot wait to go home. Gonna dig into some potato salad. I felt so good that like I had appealed to this guy who'd seen such filth and like grotesque selling out, and it felt really good.
You knew what you were saying.
I knew it. Yeah, he was listening. Like, these guys are. There's like a joke within the joke we were doing that I was kind of proud of. Like, we weren't like tiptoeing or tap dancing for them, and then. In that same stage where you're like, you're not getting picked. They make it in the green room. We're like, now they're announcing the names. And they go around the room and go, all right, everyone, this is the scene where you don't know if you're going to take the next step in your career or if this is where it ends. So just be calm, and we're going to film that. And I sat in the corner like with my mouth open and my fingernails near my mouth, like, and they'd pan around like 15 seconds and then get to me. Cut! David, please stop doing that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So it was really fun. They were not thrilled about that, but it was making me laugh a lot. So
That's awesome.
So I ended up having good experiences.
I take you're
from the
not
show.
watching it now.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm sorry, Tommy.
Jeez.
I root for you though, buddy.
Even with the star power on there?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, I heard from Tommy when he was in Los Angeles. He wouldn't tell me what he was doing, but I knew. And then he didn't come hang out with me, so I was like,
Did you have an elaborate story of telling people why you were heading out of town, or I'm just working?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was just like, I just kept quiet. I was like, there's a show. Like, I could say a show and then not say.
For something.
Yeah. But what a good show's TV. So, yeah, I don't know. Nobody really questioned it. I didn't like post a bunch of stuff on Facebook like I'm in LA or anything.
Right,
like that, so.
right. I did see you were in Australia recently.
Yeah, I went to Australia. My buddy got married there, and so I went to his wedding in Australia with my wife, and it was exciting. I got to hold a koala bear and go to a wedding in Australia because he lives there now. It wasn't like a total destination wedding, but it was really far away.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's super far.
Oh.
The flight was 14 and a half hours from L.A. Have you ever been on a flight that long? Have you been to L.A.?
No, I've never
Australia?
been.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
No.
I know some people have done like comedy festivals out there. Yeah.
I have not.
It's a long flight. You can't leave the plane. You have to be on it the whole time. Oh, it was scary.
Did you get inebriated?
No, because somebody had said like that if you like, I got paranoid. I read somewhere like you can get like it can like kill you if you drink too much eventually, or something on a plane, something with your blood. And I was nervous, and I just wanted to sleep, like, and not come to Australia all hungover or anything. So I just watched movies and tried to nap. Really boring.
When Will Anderson was here last time, he told me that koala bears have what is it? Is it syphilis?
I think it's a lot of them say that syphilis.
Yeah.
I did hold one, but she was tested, so it's fine. She was clean. Clean koala bear.
No fluids exchanged?
Nope.
Not even accidentally?
Just held it.
That's good. I've also seen. I saw that on your Facebook. I think I've also seen some things on your Facebook, Tommy Ryman, that I'm like, this is my kind of guy. Star Wars fan.
Ooh,
I love
sparks
Star
are
Wars.
flying.
Legos.
Yeah, and Lego. Yeah, big fan.
So are you a collector?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I collect and build and display and stare at and then take down and put away and then
Yeah.
build again later. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I just got into it like 4 years ago. I could build Lego when I was a little kid, and then I was like in Target and there was like a Battle for Endor Ewok set, and I was
was
like,
like
oh, I
$100,
want
right?
that. Yeah, I bought it because I was an adult and I had $100, so I was like, I'm gonna do this because those are the sets that I used to have to like wait for Christmas when I was a kid,
Oh, yeah.
and like now I was like, oh man, sweet, I
Yeah.
can literally just leave with this. It's a Tuesday. This is just David Huntsberger Day, so let's all celebrate. Buy this Lego set. So, and then like I bought like the Death Star they have, and I don't like it, like it's not like constantly, but if there's a good set, I'll pick it up, and then sometimes I'll sell them when I'm done.
Last night, Tommy was trying to smoke a cigarette, and I twisted his arm around behind him to let him know I wasn't in favor of that. And then he just kept muttering things about, like, high school. And now I see why you were so upset. You were probably getting picked on in high school by tough guys because you were building Star Wars Lego things. Or really into Star Wars.
Not in high school. This is just in high school. I was just doing musical theater.
Okay.
No one made fun of
tough.
those people.
No, that's tough guy stuff.
No, I just mumble like that when people abusively grab my arm, like in general.
Then don't smoke, dude. Worry about your safety.
Right.
The resale value of Legos is very high.
Yeah, it's pretty good, some of the sets. And then usually you can even just sell them at least for what you paid for them, even after you played with them. It's
Isn't
crazy.
that ridiculous?
Yeah, it's pretty. Do you build them?
No,
You're like, I'm an adult.
No.
He already said you're his kind of guy.
I know.
No, completely.
I just thought he was going to turn on me.
I set
Where's
you up.
this coming from?
I set you
high
up. You're the
school.
biggest nerd I've ever met. No, I'm a huge Star Wars dork, and I do not collect Legos, but I have 2 daughters that I've been pushing them into Legos.
Oh, nice.
And I get you get one set of the girly ones, but then I also push in the superhero one. Like they got a couple Batman
I would think
ones,
as a
some
parent,
Star Wars ones.
you wouldn't want to do that.
Why?
So much stuff to clean up.
Oh no, they keep it in their bedroom so far, and
okay.
nobody eats or gets to use the bathroom or go outside. No, they're pretty good at cleaning it up.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good at cleaning up.
You don't come in to tell them dinner's ready and step on one and go, "You kids!"
No, not yet. I'm sure that's inevitable. But,
That'll happen.
Yeah.
Now, Legos are sweet.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
And I looked at if you go on like eBay or something, and just to buy if you want to buy someone's used just miscellaneous pieces, even that shit is expensive.
Yeah, you can just sell pieces, I guess.
Yes.
So someone's selling hey, I've got an 8x2.
No, it'll be like a sack of just miscellaneous
see.
Lego pieces.
15 pounds of Lego. $600.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
What? How do you buy them? By the number of pieces, or is it literally like the weight of Legos?
I'm gonna guess it's both.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
remember
assuming
exactly.
I've seen people on Craigslist sell it by the pound. I don't purchase that though.
There's also
People
video-
design it though. Like people make art with Lego too, so then they'll want just massive amounts of it.
There's also a. This is getting so dorky. I love it. There's also, because I watched one once, videos on YouTube of how to properly sanitize used Lego.
How is it? You don't boil them.
No. Someone learned that the hard way. I had to tell everybody.
Guys, I've got news. Do not boil your Legos.
Not.
Also, I'm 40.
It involves something with boiling water. I'm not sure what, but
Oh.
I don't know what it was.
So it didn't stick with you. You don't
No.
know how to sanitize them?
I don't know.
If you're
I'm not
good at-
buying used ones. So
How would you sanitize a Lego, Tommy?
Well, sometimes they get dusty, and then I have a little toothbrush that I
See?
dip in water, and then I brush it. Or you can just do an air compressor thing. But
Doesn't sound very sanitized to me.
well, I don't. I mean,
You're touching syphilitic koala bears.
Yeah.
You're not sanitizing your Legos. What are you trying to do to yourself?
well, I mean, I'm fine. But it's the people I sell the Legos to that need to worry about it. Maybe I'll watch that YouTube video and I'll learn how to sanitize.
You should, from now on, you should print that on the receipt, the link to the.
You could drop a teardrop full of bleach into your cup full of water. Problem solved. Am I right, guys? Or would it bleach the Lego paint?
It could bleach it, I guess, because they're really temperamental to sun. It will damage.
What about isopropyl alcohol?
Yeah, that would probably be great. I think
We're
that was the
getting
video.
somewhere.
Did you do the YouTube video?
I want to watch it now, and I want to get some Legos and get some clean Legos.
Some of that clean Lego.
Give me them clean Legos. Give me them clean Legos.
I'm straight edge. I only clean Legos. No drugs, no alcohol, no tobacco.
Yeah,
Clean Legos.
Clean Lego lifestyle.
That's right. Do you know what turned 35 this week? What object that probably all three of us owned?
It's not Eminem's daughter. It is
No.
not.
Hey, is she kind of cute or what?
I haven't seen any pictures of her.
Yeah, kind of
She's cute.
And it is weird. I saw those headlines like Haley graduates with honors.
Yeah. Ugh, that's.
I don't know too much about Eminem, but I know he would
Yeah.
use her name in songs quite a bit 10 years ago.
Yeah. 35.
Yeah, what turned 35? I bet all three of us had one at some point.
It's an object. It's a thing.
For music.
Thing for music 35 years ago. I'll give up.
The Walkman.
Wow.
Yeah.
My sister had one. I never had one.
You never had one?
No. There was always one around the house at some point. I wasn't really listening to much music as a kid, and I definitely wasn't needing it on the go. But I liked it. I mean, I think I would put it on and just wear it around the house. I liked the way the little foam felt against my ears from the headphones. We had a tape one, and is that what the one that turned 35?
Yeah.
And then there was the Discman.
Yes.
Right?
No.
Okay.
Discman's way
Totally different.
That's only
But
like 30.
Yeah. I wonder why. Yeah, the Walkman. That's a way better name than the Discman.
You could listen to the radio and then listen to your favorite cassettes over and over and over and over again.
People be running and then.
That's right. Hold on a second. Flip back in. All the cassette players where you couldn't tell actually which side was, tape go up, down. I don't know. Now it's stuck.
Yep.
So, Tommy, did you have a Walkman?
I did have a Walkman. And yeah, I do remember. I don't know why I couldn't remember how
You
the
wouldn't
tape
really be
always
a
went in.
self-respecting musical theater kid without a Walkman, right?
Right, probably. I think we all had them.
So if we went back 25 years, or let's say the last time you had one, what tape would have been in your Walkman?
I think I had like Beach Boys because that was one of the first tapes, and then my sister had Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch that she would play. So and then we had like
Feel the
MC Hammer,
vibrations.
and Michael Jackson. I know we just had a bunch of cassette tapes. My mom had a lot of like Tracy Chapman, not good tapes. I don't
want to listen to your Tracy Chapman.
Yeah, no more Tracy Chapman, Mom. Oh, how many times did I say
Did
that
she
in the house?
do? Give me one reason to stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the old Chapman.
She's great. Why are you hating on her?
I got a
Well, I was a
fast
kid.
car.
Yeah.
I love
great.
Tracy Chapman now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying then I was
Oh,
rebelling.
okay. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you came back around.
Oh man, yeah. I was secretly into her
You're
the
a
whole time.
Chapmaniac
I
now.
love Chapmania. Yeah. Tracy Chapman.
Chapaholic. Isn't that what they're called?
Yeah.
She was going to be the judge on Last Comic Standing, but she fell through.
That's not true.
Roseanne, last minute, that's what I heard.
No.
It was going to be Tracy
You're
Chapman.
lying right to us right now.
Have you seen, there's another, this just came to mind, there's another comedy competition show. Right
I don't know what you're talking about. I think Last Comic Standing is the only one
What channel is it on?
that's available to watch.
Well, it's on TBS, I think. I haven't seen it.
Oh.
But Marlon Wayans, there's another Wayans.
These Wayans guys
I mean,
are...
we know there's 20 of them, but
Yeah,
this is
but
a different
they're-
Wayans doing a comedy competition television show.
So did Keenan Ivory take over Last Comic Standing? Is he like the producer of it now or something?
No, Wanda.
Yeah, Wanda Sykes is the producer.
Okay.
Executive producer. With
And then
Paige.
she and he had nothing to do with Marlon going, oh, I also want to do a competition.
I don't know. But yeah, I've in searching, stuff on comedy on the internet, I found that there's also another show with Marlon Wayans as the host.
How many things are there going to be to where it finally just completely saturates and no one's famous or well known? No, everyone's just trying out at things, hosting things, making things. You just switch from one to the other. Everyone can go to the grocery store. Famous people can come back out of their, hilltop mansions and be like, oh, no one recognizes me anymore. Every single person has been on TV in some way. There's 1,000 channels, 1,000 shows per
I always
channel.
want to do this, and I never have. I always want to just do an announcement on like the KQ Morning Show, and just when there's really when it's a slow day, just be like, if you have been on television for any reason, like a reality show or a game show contestant, just call. I want to hear why you were on television.
Or what about the news? Would that count?
Yes, absolutely.
When my friend and I were little, we'd go to the local college football games, and then when the game ended, we'd run out on the field, and they'd give us like their sweatbands and things. I think one time a friend of mine got one of the dude's cleats, which is awesome. And but the thing we loved most is we'd be there like patting them on their shoulder pads and then jumping and standing trying to be on the news.
Right,
and
right.
we'd get to stay up late and then watch, like, there I am, I'm on the news, I'm right over his shoulder. And there are probably people, if you did that would call in and be like, yeah, here's how I was on the news, or here's how I was on TV.
Oh, yeah. Paul Majors glared at me on the Channel 11 News in 1986, because I do remember when I was in second grade, one of the local stations came to my school and they were going to film everyone, all the kids outside. Just, hey, hi, here we are. And to prep us, they said, okay, we're going to do a shot of everybody. We want you to, everybody big smiles, and then we want you to either be waving, giving a number 1, or both fingers for 11 for channel 11. And no, you're probably thinking, oh, I know what he did. He flipped off the camera or somebody did that. But no, I was so I took that literally. So when she said, do one of those, I did all 3 of them. So when we got home, it was filmed in the afternoon that night at 5 o'clock news. We're watching. I think I'm going to be on here.
Yeah.
And there I am, this little freaking dork, waving, then switching to one finger, then putting up another hand with another finger. Like the only little nerd that wanted to do it so correctly that I did it completely wrong.
That's adorable.
It is adorable.
Were you ever on TV as a kid?
I don't remember. I know my sister was for her gymnastics. She was on the news, but I can't remember it. I don't think I was.
What do you think? What was your first TV thing? Do you think? Do you remember? Not Last Comic Standing and not getting on the cutting room floor of Nick Mom's Night Out.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything before that.
Nothing.
I don't think
so. Have you done any of the local TV here?
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah. I've done. It was so good. I blocked it out of my memory. No, yeah, I did some Care 11.
Yeah, see, I figured.
Yep.
My mom, we bought a used vehicle, and then the dealership called us and said, "Hey, would you come in and do a commercial? We'll give you I forget what it was, a month off of paying for your truck or something like that." So my mom went in and was just going to say, "Oh, I thought the buying experience was delightful," something like that.
Yeah.
Just do a little interview, and then they were like, "Do you want the kids in there?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course." My sister didn't want to do it, and then I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to do it." So I just stood there. I don't think I got to say anything, but I was just standing there this is like being on the news times 10. They know the camera's getting me at this point, and they can't do anything about it. And so I stood there very trying to be calm, but inside just being all right, keep it together. Stand here.
Don't blow this.
And I had a little Tom Cruise flat top. I was real big into wearing turtlenecks.
Oh boy.
So I think that's what I was looking like. And then my sister saw that and was like, "We got to do it again." So we did a second one. So, and they showed both. I would be out in public somewhere and see a TV and just shout to strangers, "There I am!" And then people in a pizza place or something would look and "What? Who are you, kid?" "I'm that guy right there on TV."
How did that used car hold up?
Really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winkle Pontiac GMC in Reno, Nevada. If you happen to be swinging through,
wow,
don't you hesitate to stop in there. And then there's another place, Champion Chevrolet. My sister and I always crack up because the voice guy who would say it would go, "Champion Chevrolet Geo." He would never say Chevrolet. It was always Chevrolet. So Winkle Pontiac GMC is the place to go. I just can't stress that enough. You don't want Champion Chevrolet. Maybe that's why I don't like being on TV that much now. Not that I have the opportunity to do it all the time, but it's not something I really seek out.
Well,
I think
you peaked
that was
when you were a kid.
I think so. Yeah, you can't fulfill that, whatever that is, that narcissism or that whatever that is. You can't fill it any more than you could have as a kid.
That magic in front of the camera.
Yeah, that was great. I would never look now and be like, "There I am on TV," but as a kid, it felt really good.
Yeah,
because you're still processing that. That's a person who's real in front of me in life, and now I'm seeing them in this little box in my house. How does that happen? Mm-hmm. So getting to be yourself, part of that, I think, is every kid should get to do that.
Kales, yeah. How was your podcast going these days?
Oh, good. Yeah, we're still cranking along. We're at 160 something episodes.
Oh, is this a competition? What's that all about?
Just letting you know where we're at, man.
Oh.
Yeah, we're. I guess we started about a year before you or something like that. So,
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess we pretty much did it just right.
You probably did. That's good for you.
No, it's been good. We had Josh Radnor on from
How I Met Your
Mother.
Yeah,
and we recorded it in the garage in my house, this tiny little space with the most famous person we've had on yet. And,
how was he? I didn't hear that one.
He was good. Yeah. I mean, I think he wanted to probably talk about more philosophical stuff, and we kind of just talked about sitcoms and directing and the sort of the stuff that he's familiar, known for.
Yeah, he just directed a movie in the recently.
He's done 2, and they're both pretty good. The Happy Thank You More Please I really liked. I think it's good, and the other one is good. I didn't enjoy it as much, but they're still fine movies. And he was talking about a third one he has coming out and that sort of. So it's been good. I'm trying to think if we had any sort of unique. It's mostly just more of the same. We lost our intern in the last year.
That's an update.
Yeah. So he was on the show from time to time, but we have a new person helping now, and she's more like behind the scenes. But mostly still just me and Tig and Kyle just chatting away.
One a week, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. We did a tour last year. I think I guess I had done that before I was here last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Barnstorming the.
Yeah.
Like you said you basically did a tour all around.
Yeah, we looped the United
Looped the United
States
States,
in
yes.
like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
It was wild. It was like being in a band.
Tommy, did you open for Michael Ian Black when he was here?
Not this last time. I opened for him before at the
before.
Varsity. That was fun.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. That's my wife's, that was her, me, she finally, respected me because she was a huge fan of him. So she was like, oh my gosh, you're working with Michael Ian Black. So she was so proud, and she got a picture with him, in the green room. And then later, when we looked at the photo in the green room, there's just, tons of dicks on the walls. So she's with her idol, and, 6 dicks are behind her. And I was like,
Cool.
That made me so happy. So that was pretty exciting for her.
I like it.
Oh, I love that.
I worked with both the Michael Ian Black and Michael Showalter before that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and one didn't like me, and then Michael Ian Black liked me, and then I wanted them to later talk to each other, unrelated, oh, I was in Minneapolis, oh, who'd you open on? And one would be like, oh, this guy, I hated him, and then the other guy would be like, oh, I really like my guy, and then they would
should
find
use my
out
guy.
It was the same person.
How do you know he hated you?
Because I did 30 minutes and was supposed to do 15 minutes because somebody told me to do 30 minutes, so I did 30 minutes, but and then when I got off, he was like, man, you went way over. I was like, no, I brought my watch. I was like, it was right on. And then he was like, no, I was told you were going to do 15. And I was like, what? And then I went and talked to the producer, and they're like, oh, yeah, whoops, sorry. And I was like, no, don't, whoops. You need to tell me because I do what I'm told. I felt terrible.
Yeah.
Because, that would, blow my mind if somebody's opening me and, slowly just watch them do, why is he? What is
Yeah.
he? So, and then he learned about the mistake later and was nice, but he was not a fan at that point. It was very awkward.
He's dead to me. No one treats Tommy that way. No one. If he wants to do 45 minutes, you let him.
Never. Did you? I want to. Where was that in here? Oh yeah. So I just want to quickly. I saw an article today about. I think it's from a newspaper in Nevada about you being on Marin's podcast.
What? Really?
Yeah. Have you seen that? You haven't seen this?
No.
I'll read it really fast.
A newspaper in Nevada.
I think, yeah. Let's see. Podcast host Mark Maron has joined David Sedaris, Seth Meyers, and Fozzie Bear as entertainers who have had bad things to say about Reno. You haven't read this?
No.
Oh, wow. Here we're going to get a natural reaction. I hope you don't mind this. Maron resurrected his career when he started hosting WTF Podcast. Blah, blah. On his podcast released Monday, Maron interviewed comedian David Huntsberger, a Hug High School graduate. Yeah. Huntsberger talked about his family moving to Reno when he was a child, and Maron chimed in with his thoughts about Reno. Quote, Reno's like, I've never been there, but in my mind and in my heart, the one or two times I was there, it felt like a morally bankrupt place. And then it says, am I wrong? Maron continued. I feel like they're going to take that personally. Maybe it isn't. It's not Vegas. It's sort of like, I don't know, it seems like the next stop over. Maron concludes. To add insult to injury, Maron uses the pronunciation of Nevada not preferred by residents, although he does compliment it as a beautiful state. What is that in reference to?
Nevada. No one likes that pronunciation.
He was saying Nevada?
And I think I corrected him and said, say Nevada.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I don't know. I have to do that a lot. Usually, the go-to thing is, it's Nevaditude. So the A is attitude, so Nevada. But yeah, residents do not care for, oh, you're from Nevada? How dare you? Don't you speak of my state that way. And then Colorado has that. Oregon has that. trying to think where else would maybe get a little bit of that, but those
It says that you defended Reno as being a great place for outdoor activities, and it says you also co-host your own podcast, Dr. Blastoff.
Yep, Captain Spaceship, going strong. Dr. Blastoff.
Dr. Blastoff.
Yeah. That's how well known I am in Reno. That's how much they love me. No one's ever made it out of there, and I think that's why we just have no like hometown pride of any sort. Yeah, we got a guy from here. He's doing a Dr. Blastoff.
But hey, if people stumble upon this or maybe read this guy's column religiously, the Dr. Blastoff link goes to Professor Blastoff.
That's even harder to do.
Yeah,
that's
so. I don't know who screwed that up, but somehow it works. Or maybe they were mocking you, and that's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, maybe they think it's an inside joke. I mean, sometimes people do call it like Dr. Takeoff or Captain Launch Space.
Launchpad,
just goofing around. I think Doug Benson started that too.
Yeah.
Like, how's Captain Explosion? How dare you?
I love it. Are you guys selling anything at the shows these days? Do you bring? You have a couple CDs. Do you bring them along?
I did. I forgot to mention them last night because Lord knows I want to peddle my wares as much as I can. But yeah, I brought all three of mine that I have. I have one I did independently that's just like a unedited stand-up act when I was only like a couple years into it. And then the two that I've done here with stand-up records I brought. So I'm going to try to sell those. And I think in the future I'm going to start screen printing posters. We did an episode of the podcast on screen printing, and like people have really responded to that. So I think it's just hard to lug around 11 by 17 posters, but people do like them. They're I think a little bit more of a, I think when people buy CDs, they're not necessarily like, I want to hear a bunch more comedy. They're more like, I want to take something from this show, like sort of a souvenir.
We had a big talk about this on last week's episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, then the consensus was similar to that, I would assume.
Was that CDs are dying and that there needs to be a new way to... it was with Mikey Winfield and Eric Allen, and they were talking about how maybe there needs to be a new way to package things where people could still bring home a piece of you, but it's probably not necessarily a compact disc.
Yeah, I mean, a friend of mine that's a really great screen printer, and like I'm not good at it, but I do it. I can accomplish it. It was just like, oh, you should just do some of your posters and then put a download code on the back.
Yeah.
So I think I'll probably do something like that in the future. So I do think that's a good idea. It's just, it's hard to travel with them. Like CDs travel so much better.
Is there one that just came out this year?
No.
What am I seeing on Amazon? What is that? It says...
was this year?
Yeah.
No, I think 2013 is when Explosion Land came out. That was the last one I did.
That is the most recent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. How about you, Tommy?
I have a CD. It's Bath Time with Tommy. It's fairly old.
It has the greatest cover picture ever.
It's just me in a tub. It's what everybody wanted, so I did it. And then that's what I sell after the shows. I have like one box left, so and then I don't have to sell it anymore after that. I think, or do I get more? Probably have to get more then.
Oh, Dan will give you more. Is
yeah,
it Dan?
Yeah.
He'll
so
give
stand-up
you more.
records. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That'll be good.
You'll get plenty more. Hi, it looks like we have a question from the audience.
Yeah, I just have a question. It's regarding CDs for David. David, would you tell us what the name of your last album was and what day you released it on?
Oh, I'm glad you've asked that, Cy. My last CD was called Explosion Land, and it came out the day after the Boston Marathon bombing. So promoting it was a real treat.
Wow. I didn't.
You didn't know that?
That's
I was,
insane.
and this all ties in. I was screen printing, so I'm doing a lot of like repetitive work over and over, and I get a thing on my phone from Dan saying, "Hey, the CD comes out tomorrow. Can you promote it today?" Like, so I just real quickly go on to Facebook and just write, "Hey, my new CD Explosion Land comes out tomorrow. Get it. Here's a link here," and then do the same thing on Twitter. Go back to doing what I'm doing, and then just behind me, I just hear "Badoop, badoop." It's kind of like, well, that's unusual. That certainly doesn't normally happen. And it's a lot of people being like, too soon. And then the first one that I saw too soon, I was like, oh, that's their joke they do to everything. That doesn't even make sense. Back to what I'm doing.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Right.
And then some like, I really don't think this is appropriate. And then maybe I'm like, what is going on? And then, of course, I go to a news site. It's just like, are you kidding me?
Oh, no.
Like, what a terrible reaction. Like, my first thought, I think genuinely was like, oh, this sucks. But not that far behind it was like, poor me.
Yeah.
You know, like that whole like, but what about this thing I'm trying to do? Which is the worst, most callous feeling. But it wasn't my first thought.
There were no bathtub accidents after yours was released.
No, mine went seamlessly. It was perfect. Nothing tragic had happened. Yeah, no.
Yeah, people had like
Jeez.
that legitimately could have happened.
It's true.
Every now and again. Yeah, people have funny ideas afterward for like what I should call my next CD for just a harbinger of like good things to come. So like Kitten Armageddon and things like that.
Piles of cuteness.
And then there was a freak explosion like the day after it came out that chemical plant in Texas blew up.
Oh, I remember.
So there was a week of explosions happening where like I finally just stopped mentioning my CD at all. It was just kind of like, well, we'll get them next time.
That's like putting out an album called Tower Crumble.
Yeah. Someone who was that rap group that like their album was supposed to go out that day. Yeah, it's nuts.
I think didn't it have the Twin Towers on the cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Have we investigated that more? Are we sure they weren't involved?
I know. I think they were on a watch list. I was talking to someone that seemed like he knew them, knew where they were from, was familiar with their whole catalog, and was saying that like they didn't just go right away. People were examining them fairly closely. Like, what do you know?
And can any of us name that band?
I feel like it has Doom in the title.
It might,
but
I don't know. See, maybe not all publicity is good.
That's true.
I mean, you can't buy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's weird. Like, I would really like to see how quickly they started allowing that Biggie Smalls song to come back on. It's like blow up like the World Trade.
Oh yeah.
Like that song is so good that people were like maybe gave it a month. And they were just like, get it back on the air. We can't live with that.
Speaking of events, we got the 4th of July this weekend, Friday.
Friday, yeah.
That's why Acme will be. You guys get the day off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Closed on Friday. What's the plans for either of you?
I'm going to Little McDonald Lake, and I'm going to go roast some hot dogs, potentially s'mores, maybe jet ski, maybe water ski, mostly lay around in a hammock, possibly throw a football.
You're going to have any potato salad?
Nice. You better know I'm having potato salad.
Potato salad's great on the 4th of July.
Damn right.
I might go to the Twins game. They're playing the Yankees.
They are playing the Yankees.
And then definitely going to barbecue on my deck. So it'll be really exciting. Yeah.
This is... I want to ask you, this is going to tie in perfectly here. So you're going to go to the Yankees game, the Yankees-Twins game, say goodbye to Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a fan or do you despise? Will you boo? Because he gets booed for some reason.
I'll
at Target
boo.
Field.
If other people are booing, I'll hop right in.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever. If the most people are going to do, I'm going to do that.
What if it's booing? Well, we were talking briefly before the show about the Twins and Joe Mauer, and I was going to ask you, what if they boo him? But he's on the disabled list. So
yeah.
They'd have to show just his picture.
Still booing him.
Trivia question,
Yeah.
like what did he name his kids or something.
Just show him rehabbing, show how much money he's making for doing that. The people would start booing.
Yeah. So would you boo if they did that?
I don't think I'd boo Joe Mauer. I like him too much. He's a nice guy. Him and I really get along. I've never talked to him or anything, but I just feel like we'd hit it off well. Because I make tons of money. And
you can talk to him anytime. Just go find him down in Florida.
I was on TV twice. So he was edited out of Nick Mom, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Twins fan. You're a Twins fan?
Yeah, we're Twins fans. We like identical twins as well. It's the baseball team.
He's highly overpaid for being average.
I'm highly overpaid.
No, you're underpaid.
Well, there is one sporting event this weekend that neither of you brought up that's going on Friday afternoon, and it's the biggest event of the weekend.
Oh, do tell.
It's the Nathan's yearly contest at Coney Island.
Yeah. I want someone to challenge that dude. Joey Chestnut?
Joey Chestnut.
He's going to do it again?
Yeah.
I'm really glad he took down Kobayashi. I didn't like Kobayashi. It was an interesting story when you first hear about it, like a little 5'8", 130-pound dude that can plow down hot dogs. But then he was such a diva. He really acted like a celebrity, whereas Joey Chestnut was like this hard-working, like, I'm USA, give me let me eat them dogs. And then we were really like, that was such, they're going to make a movie about that someday and somehow make it, it's be like Rocky.
Yeah.
The slow-mo of the juicy, gross buns going into his mouth. But he did it, and he continues to do it.
What do you think? Yeah, what do you think? All the like in Rocky, he would punch meat hanging off a hook. Or, he'd run up the stairs in Philly. Like, what's the non-traditional training regimen of a competitive eater?
Yeah, because you'd want it to be things that you could keep using. So you'd have like styrofoam peanuts, shit them out, eat them again, just sanitize them like Legos. Back in you go.
There you go.
Just to keep the cycle going. Yeah, it keeps my costs down. I can't afford all these calories every week. My sponsors are going crazy.
I don't feel like you would poop it. I feel like it would be attached to a rope and you like pull it back.
Oh, you're crazy.
Because that's not a. That's
you're crazy.
Way more
That's so much.
sanitary than-
This is your moneymaker. Your esophagus. You're not pulling things back out
You
of
only
that.
want things going one way.
Yeah. Jeez. Come on,
know.
rookie.
I
What are you getting at?
Have you even seen
Sorry.
it before, Tommy? Do you even
Are you
know
taking this
what we're
seriously at
talking
all?
about?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good
You
idea.
come up with this bush league nonsense about pulling things out of your throat.
You were having to eat styrofoam. That seems dangerous.
Totally natural. You can eat packing peanuts.
Peanuts. Hello.
Yeah,
Peanuts.
yeah,
You guys are really ganging up on me here.
yeah.
Do either of you know the record right now that may or may not be broken on Friday?
I'm gonna guess he topped 80.
And this is in 10 minutes, by the way.
Yeah,
10
I think
minutes.
it's 81.
It is not.
Higher or lower?
Lower.
78.
69.
Oh, I thought he got 73 a couple years ago, and then I stopped watching and figured he'd bumped it up since then.
Well, I have statistics here. And by the way, California native Joey Chestnut broke his own world record last year by eating 69 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. And he doesn't have the stiff competition anymore because Kobayashi
Retired. Yeah, jaw problems. And mostly shame.
What did they call that when they would take the knife and
Yeah, Harry Carey.
the sword?
I will now fall on my sword because I can't eat hot dogs like I used to. Dude, no one was really that impressed. No, I must.
I've let down my country. No, you really haven't.
I've soiled our reputation as a nation. No.
We're fine. We're still pumping out electronics.
Yeah, we're doing just fine, buddy.
They get a load of this. ESPN just announced on Tuesday they've agreed to an extension that's going to be on television through 2024.
Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That money is well spent. It's such an embodiment of the United States and what we stand for. Wasting food, spending money on showing people wasting the food, gluttony. It's terrific.
Yeah.
It's a
100%.
perfect way to celebrate our independence.
Absolutely.
We should just, in the background, have the least efficient internal combustion engine just running the entire time. Just to power like one of the light bulbs above them or something. And our PA system today is powered by this thing.
And then hunt an endangered animal.
Yeah. We're now going to commemorate this day by shooting 5 bald eagles. Let them loose. Pull.
Yeah, we're going to release this this bald eagle that we've nursed at health.
Yeah.
We let it go and it flies into a into an electrified,
straight into a jet engine.
Exactly. Lightning. So, well, just keep that in mind when you're making when you're finalizing your plans for Friday. That there is a competitive eating competition.
I'll find a way to watch it. Not
Have
gonna
some
miss
pride in
that.
your country, guys.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir.
Okay.
That's what Tommy and I do.
Love my
We
country.
appreciate our country, and we root for it in the way of hot dog eating.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you guys want to plug before we say goodbye?
I don't think so.
Dr. Blastoff.
Dr. Blastoff.
Dr. Blast.
If you're
Maybe
in-
another appearance on Last Comic Standing.
Possibly. I don't. Who knows?
Tune
though.
in or don't.
Yeah. or
Are
just-
you watching, by the way? Are you still watching? Be
I
honest.
did. Yeah, I watched the. I missed one because I was in Australia, so I couldn't. They gave me a thing to stream the episode I was on, but I missed like another one after that. I think,
Okay.
or maybe I was back home. I can't remember. But I'm gonna watch this Thursday. Definitely, because someone's gonna get on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
You'd be perfect on that.
I know. I should have gotten to the top 8.
Yeah.
I could have been on that. But is it because we look alike, or
Hey, whoa.
Whoa, hey.
Don't put words in our mouths.
Oh, okay.
You just look like a handsome, nice young man.
I know. Do you think she'd make fun of my voice?
Yes. She is a comedian.
Okay. No one's ever done that except you. I thought I had a really good voice until today.
Who's laughing in the back right now? I can hear you.
I thought I had a really good voice.
That was a really good voice. He's perfect.
Fellas,
I apologize.
thank you. And nothing else?
If you're in Los Angeles, come check out my variety show. It's called The Junk Show or Huntsberger Junk. It's like music and animation and stand-up and storytelling, all kinds of stuff. So, I don't know who... This is a worldwide podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, come here. All right, that's it from me.
Yeah. And Huntsberger Junk's your Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Yours, Tommy?
Tommy Ryman, @Tommy Ryman.
Perfect. All right, that's it.
Thanks, Justin.
Fellas, thank you.
Thanks.